Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back with another Fortnite video. And in today's video, I want to be talking about how you guys can get kills faster in Fortnite and how you guys can win your gunfights even faster than you are already. And by winning gunfights faster, there's a lot of benefits. You can have a lot more mats, a lot more health. There's a lot of good things that come from winning your gunfights faster, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do that. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on my notifications, and leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And as well, if you guys have not already, make sure you guys add me on Snapchat. I am very active on there. I post a ton, so you definitely don't want to miss out. So make sure you guys add me on Snapchat. And alright guys, let's go to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to be talking about how you guys can win your gunfights a lot quicker in Fortnite, and exactly why I think winning gunfights faster in Fortnite is the #1 way to have the best loot, have enough mats, have enough shield going into that late game. And a lot of players aren't doing this. A lot of people are just taking too many times in gunfights, and it's costing them a lot of health and a lot of mats. If you drag out a gunfight for a long time, the other player you're going against is going to continually pop their shields, pop their minis, so you're not going to have any minis after that gunfight. The other player is going to be using a lot more mats, so you're not going to have any mats after that as well. And the longer that you're in that gunfight, the bigger chance you have of getting third party by another team, getting shot in the back, just different things like that. So the longer you drag with the gunfight, the worse it is in Fortnite. And of course, you can't win every single gunfight, you know, right away. Some gunfights take a little bit longer, especially on those better players and those harder to kill players, because the sweater the player is, most of the time, the harder they are to kill. It's not the case for every single time, but typically the better the player you go against, the more time it's going to take for you to kill them. And that's just something to keep in mind before even going into the gunfight. Just seeing the other player and see if they're a really good player, or maybe they're a little bit of a new player. If they're a good player, you have to play a little bit more cautious in a way. You still want to play fast, you still want to be able to kill them fast, and you are able to do that from time to time. But if you want to be able to kill a good player fast, you're gonna have to have high ground, because if you don't, that player is just going to be abusing it, and they're going to be sitting on the high ground and getting a ton of tags off on you. So when it comes to the better player, the more high ground that you have to have typically. One thing that I forgot to mention is this video right here, this gameplay. It is a 23 kill gameplay coming from Tilted, so there is definitely a lot of gunfights that I had to go into in this game. I would say the most hectic part of this gameplay, it was actually in Tilted Towers. I would say it's kind of in the mid game, and there was no like 4 to 5 or maybe even 6 teams by clock tower just going in on each other, and I had to drop down a little bit. I was getting sprayed left and right from every single angle. It got really hectic, and I noticed that in a lot of games where, even in games where I can't find anybody, there'll just be a long period where I don't find anybody, and then all of a sudden there's going to be this one part of the map that gets flooded with players. There's going to be a ton of players trying to go to it left and right. So when it comes to killing players or winning your gunfights faster in Fortnite, because I really think that is an important part for very many reasons, you have to focus on your loadout, and you have to focus on the other player that you're going against. And there really is a lot of things in mind that you have to keep when it goes for killing these players, or killing any player in the game. So I would say you really have to focus on, I'd say the first thing is how much HP the other player has. Because you have to play very different on a player who has 200 HP versus the guy with 100 HP. Because if they have 100 HP, then you should just be rushing them all out. But you have to be careful, you know, they're not peeking around corners and they have a shotgun, because they can do a lot of damage. But most of the time, if they have low HP, that's when you should be playing the most aggressive. 9 times out of 10, you should be rushing that player, trying to get the finish on him. Because once that player is low, any more mats they use after that, or any more heals that they use, is pretty much a waste of heals for you, because you already know that you're going to kill that player because they're extremely low. You have 200 HP, so there's no reason that you should lose that gunfight. And on top of that, you need their heals and their mats for the next gunfight. So if you wait too long to kill a player who is already weak, it's going to put you up in a very bad spot. Mainly because if you make a guy one shot and then you have another guy rush up on you and he has 200 HP, that's going to be very annoying, because the guy that you made one shot is going to get up their heals again. They'll pop a med kit, pop some minis, and then they're going to have more health. But so by the time you get the other player one shot that was third partying you, the guy that you made one shot initially, he's going to have his heals up, he's going to have plenty of health. So it's just going to be an endless cycle of making a bunch of people one shot, and by the time you win that gunfight, there's going to be no shields left, and most of the time, if you're fighting players for that long, you're going to be losing a lot of health. You're probably not going to have a lot of shields afterwards, and that's just a case of people not being able to find shields. And really the root cause of people not having any shields most of the time until like the late game is just dragging out those gunfights for too long. So if you want to be able to have shield throughout the entirety of the game, you want to be able to kill players quickly and efficiently. So the second thing that you want to do when it comes to killing these players more quickly, and it kind of ties into the first thing when it comes to the other player's health, but you want to focus on your loadout and figuring out what you're running, because there's a lot of weapons in this game that can do a lot of damage very quickly. For instance, the sniper rifles do a ton of damage at longer ranges. Pump shotguns can hit for one shot, they can hit for over 200 damage, and then of course a SCAR headshot's like a 70 shot, and if you get a lot of tags on someone with a SCAR or an SMG, you can really melt them off too. So you have to really focus on your loadout and focus on the situation. If I'm going into a new gunfight and I see a player maybe in a little bit of distance, maybe like 30 meters away, and I say I get one tag for shield on them, I'm going to expect them to have 200 HP already. And when I expect someone to have 200 HP, I want to try to get a few tags on them with my AR, get a few tags with SMG before I rush them all out. Because if I get a few tags, if I know for sure that they have no shield, because I get enough tags to know that they have no shield, that is when I'm going to be playing very aggressive. Because to be honest with you, even though the pump does 200 damage to the head if you're point blank, I really don't trust it, because it really is inconsistent. Sometimes I can be hitting for 130, 150, 170, 180, and then very rarely I hit for 200. So if I don't know how much health that they have, and I don't want to just go all in rush with the pump shotgun, I want to try to get a few tags them with the AR. Of course, if they're right next to me, I'll try to go with the pump SMG. But if they're kind of those mid ranges, I'll try to get a few tags on them with my AR, judge how much health they have, and then I'll go in with the shotgun. So the third thing that you would want to do, and that goes into this gunfight right here. So I come down from this rift, and once I'm down here, I see these guys building up, my teammates in the mix of this. One thing that you want to do pretty much at all costs is you want to avoid build fights as much as possible. And when I say avoid gunfights, I really mean you always want to keep high ground as well. You basically, what I'm trying to say is you don't want to be overbuilding all the time. There's certain places where you want to overbuild, maybe you get in third party, different situations like that, you can get a shot on another player. But build fights are something that you want to completely avoid at all costs. You want to keep the high ground, so you need to work on building, get fast enough at building in which you can get high ground quickly. Because once you're able to get that high ground, you don't have to build up anymore. Because right here in this situation, I got high ground. This player could have easily build fought me for the longest time, but I knew I had to get that gunfight over quickly. So I went for a quick play. As soon as I got high ground, I went for the shot, hit him with my pump shotgun, and then finished him off with my SMG. Here in this gunfight, I did get into a little bit of a build fight again, but I wanted to be able to end the gunfight as quickly as possible, because there's nothing wrong about getting into build fights. It's just if you consistently do them every single game, because if you're getting into like 3 or 4 build fights each and every game, that's just a big sign that you're going to have no mats, and you're also going to have no heals afterwards. So those are the type of players to box themselves in like right here. So they'll have the high ground, they'll have that build height, and then they'll just box themselves in. And once they're boxed themselves in, it leaves you wide open for third parties to knock you down. And if you're in that build fight and you get knocked down, you're going to take massive amount of fall damage. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. The best thing you can do really is if you see an opportunity to drop down and be able to shoot it out, you want to take that opportunity. Because a lot of times I have situations where I just can't find the source, or I can't find the exact floors that I need to break in order to knock it down. But if you see an opportunity to easily knock it down, I would go for it every single time. And after knocking that player down, they're most likely going to take a little bit of fall damage at the very least. And on top of that, you do have a wide open shot on them with your pump shotgun. And most of the time, they're going to come down and build up right away. But once you knock them down to the same height, if you're a good builder, you can get high ground very quickly on that player. And once you get that high ground, it's going to be very easy to kill that player and get the win on that gunfight. And to be honest with you guys, with the recent updates to pump shotguns and just shotguns in general, just the increased damage of shotguns, they can do a lot of damage very quickly. I would really try to focus on close range gunfights when it comes to melting players and just getting them down really quickly. Because shotguns, they can do a lot of damage. I mean, even a 100 damage body shot, you don't have to get a headshot. If you get a body shot with the blue pump for full pellets, you're going to be hitting for 100 damage, which is a massive amount of damage for a shotgun. So if you can focus on close range gunfights as much as possible, you're going to be running through players a ton. And one final thing, or one final tip I can give you guys when it comes to melting players quickly, especially in that close range gunfights with a shotgun, or even those longer ranges with your SCAR or whatever AR that you have, always try to aim as much as possible for headshots, because headshots do so much more damage. It's like a double damage multiplier, because I mean the heavy AR, I use the heavy AR a ton, and that is a 90 plus headshot. So if you get hit in the head by my heavy AR, you're really gonna feel it. It's gonna do a lot of damage. And if you get hit from a headshot and a body shot from a heavy AR, that's like a 48 body shot and a 92 headshot. So in just those 2 shots, the majority of their health is gone instantly. So going for headshots is really going to set you up for getting a lot of kills and winning gunfights a lot quicker. And with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this video helped you guys. And if it did, drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Turn on my notifications so you're notified for each and every new video. And alright guys, I will see you next video.